Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 16 of What If Naruto Was a Godly Mage. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Unlock a Strange Power, and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. And yeah guys, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, out of the elemental nations, the girl that was looking for Naruto, she made her way towards a demon. He was in a strange pocket dimension and it hurt her, causing her a little power to go there. But he finally found a way to send her back. But he told her he didn't know where she might show up, and she would be extremely weak after she arrived. But she would have to find him. And he also heard the kid's name. They named him Naruto. That was all that he had, as the monster told her to make sure that she find him, because he will not be used like a puppet. It seems like someone else was after his power, and if Naruto did not get it, the other person will, and he will be enslaved and used, and he didn't want that. The girl promised that she would find Naruto and save this world from that treacherous man. As she went through the vortex that he created, we then escaped to a large palace, as someone was sitting on a throne, as he got the news that there was a vortex open up for inter-world travel. He was shocked to hear that, as he couldn't believe it. He also knew who Naruto was, but he didn't know his name or where exactly he was, but he knew about Naruto's existence, and he hated him. We then skip back to the elemental nations. The girl arrived, as two women found her. She just arrived and collapsed on the ground. They went to check about her as she was unconscious, as one of them decided to help her out, as she was in a small village near the border of the land of bears. Meanwhile, at Konoha, as the Kyuubi told Yamato that she couldn't sense Hinata anymore. Ever since Naruto started to draw upon this strange power, the seal has been weakening a lot, as she could sense a lot of people outside. She had a lock on Hinata's chakra, but then something happened. She sensed something familiar to Naruto just arrive suddenly, and then she couldn't sense Hinata anymore. The Kyuubi was worrying that Hinata might be dead, as Yamato knew that this would be bad. Naruto then faced off against Gaara, beating him so badly, as he forced Sasuke to move away. He then faced off against a giant Shikaku that Gaara turned into, as Naruto clashed with Shikaku, throwing devastating attacks at Shikaku. The Kyuubi then contact with him, as Naruto asked her where the hell she was. But she refrained from answering that question, as she and Yamato was having a private conversation. It was then that she told Naruto to wake up Gaara and this might stop, as Naruto made his way up there and knocked Gaara awake. But he didn't kill Gaara, as Temari and Conqueror arrived, as he spoke to Gaara after talking to him. The both of them were the same. After all, they both have a monster inside of them, something that people hate them for, something beyond their control. But still, as Gaara couldn't believe it, this is why he was so strong, because he had precious people to care about. As Naruto told me he had precious people as well, back at the village, as Hiba was assisted by the other members of their class. Hinata was still lying there, her body turning rather cold, as Hiba and the others were bunkered down as they were being attacked by a large group of Sound Ninjas. And the one that killed Hinata, his name was Kenji, as he was there with a smirk. As Naruto came back to the village, he ended up slamming away a few of the Sound Ninjas before going over to check. It was then that Naruto saw her body lying there. He completely broke right there. Something in his mind just completely snapped. Far away, towards the border of the land of bears, the girl woke up, as she had blonde hair and green eyes, as she could sense the enormous amount of mana, and this strange power started to mix with it, as it was permeating the air. The sun itself started to change, as it became completely red. The earth started to shake and tremble. At Kiri, as the Mizukage forces were going up against Yagura, as we were still trapped in a bloodline war. As a large tidal wave came up from the ocean that was nearby, trying to swallow everything alive. Even Tendo Pain, who was looking off, seeing the sky, the entire earth, everything was changing. Something strange was happening, as Konan wondered what the hell was going on, as the sun turned immensely red. Back at Konoha, it seems like time just froze, as a different Naruto emerged. Something terrible. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. We begin this new episode at Kiri. There was a massive earth structure that just formed out of the ground. The earth structure then fell, revealing at least 4 people inside. One of them being Ayo, one of Mei Terume's subordinates. Mei Terume was in there as well. She was the current leader of the rebellion forces, trying to face off against Yagura for him to stop his blood rain that he was using to kill off all of the bloodline users. Beside her was Zabuza, and the other person was Haku, as they were found not long after. Zabuza and Mei had went way back, seeing that he knew her when he was younger. He actually saved her life back then, before he tried to went up against Yagura himself, but he thought that the resistance force has been destroyed. But it seems like she was in charge now and running the place. They were on the battlefield now, facing off against a large group. But something just happened, something strange. Mei-sama, said Ayo, as Mei looked at him. As he was looking up in the sky, Mei looked up as well. What the hell? The sun, it had changed completely. It was red, as she noticed the atmosphere looking red as well. A tidal wave had lifted up out of the ocean. It was like the entire world was thrown off its axis. As the group didn't understand what just happened, they looked over and they saw many people groaning. The water had completely crushed some of them under the force, snapping their necks and crushing their spines. We have to retreat, said Mei. This had set back their plans, but a lot of Yagura forces had been swept away as well. At least they can live to fight another day. Give the retreat signal, said Mei, as Ayo nodded as he let off the signal, firing off a flare in the air. The able-bodied ninjas started to rush back towards the secret camp. Meanwhile, the Mizukage was currently on top of his roof, in the main section of Kiri. He had retreated after seeing that, using his immense speed to make it back, as he had saw the large water jutsu. Well, that didn't seem like a jutsu anymore. It seems like nature itself was trying to kill all of them, as he wondered what the hell was that. Meanwhile, at the hidden stone, the place was a mess. Many of their structures were on rocky formations. So when the world shook violently, cracks and everything appeared, the place was thrown off on a massive base, breaking severe parts of the entire village. It was a shamble. What the hell? Said Kurosaki, as she stood up in her grandfather's office. Hey Gramps, you okay? She asked. Yeah, I'm fine, said Oniki as he pushed a large bookcase off of him. As he then noticed many ninjas outside looking up in the sky. He opened his window as he flew through, as he looked up in the sky. What the hell? He said. He couldn't understand what the hell was that. Kurosaki jumped out. What the hell happened to the sun? She asked. As he just kept on looking up, something was wrong. Something was seriously wrong. Meanwhile, at Kumo also took heavy hit as it was built on a long mountain range. So many buildings were destroyed in the process. Luckily, no one died. Most of Kumo population was mostly ninjas instead of civilians. So when they saw the massive earthquake, they shielded themselves with the ones that know basic earth ninjutsu to protect those who cannot protect themselves. The Raikage was currently on top of his tower that was really high as he was looking up at the sun that was completely red. As Mabe appeared beside him. Sir, what is that? She asked. I have no idea, he said, as he just looked up at the massive red sun. Something strange had happened, and he didn't know where did it came from, or how, or what was it. Meanwhile, at the hidden rain, as Tendo Pain stood on top of the tower, Conan beside him, the both of them looking up at the sky. He didn't know why, but he felt like a deity had shook the world. He often sees himself as a god, so it wouldn't be a far-fetched for him to think that he felt another god presence through the world. But he did not understand what exactly it was. Conan was still looking up in the sky at the now red sun that was just there. This wasn't that eclipse or something. Something happened to the world. Something literally shook the world. And there was a large flood coming into the village because the backlash of the pipes. The place was always raining after all, and the water had piled up and had raged. It seems that the world was shook violently, and the water had raged over the village, but the ninjas were busy helping with the evacuation of that part of the city. But she wondered, would this happen again? Meanwhile, near to the border of the land of bears. Wait, you can't go, the woman said. That phone the girl just appeared out of nowhere. I have to. I don't know who you are, but thank you for helping me. But I can't stay here, I must go. The girl then took off even though she was tired. She had to make it there. If this is what I think it is, I have to stop him. Are you going to use that, said the voice. Yes, I have to. But you know that's only a one-shot thing, right? What if this happened again? No, it won't. After I tell him who he really is, he will find a way to control it, but now, he's not ready. I've been told this already. I have to stop him, she said, as she kept up her run. Before her feet slowly started to lift off the ground, I've regained a bit of my mana. I should hurry, she said. She started to fly through the air. Let's just hope you make it on time, a voice said, as she increased her speed. Back at Konoha, the entire village was in panic to what just happened. But everything was calm now. The place had stopped shaking. The world had stopped seeming like it was going to rip to pieces a minute ago. Up on the academy tower, Pearson was lying dead after successfully sealing Orochimaru's eyes away, as he had seen the chaos that was going to happen before he died, but there was nothing to do about it. Orochimaru was standing on the roof, as he was still in the barrier. He had no idea what was going on, but he had a feeling that this was that boy. Naruto, was it? Yes. That boy he faced in the forest of death. This power has something to do with him. But what the hell did the boy do to the sun? And how is his power so great for him to change the literal sun? What the hell is he? Meanwhile, down below, as Kenji and the other few sound ninjas who were thrown away by the violent outburst of Naruto were under a pile of rubble, slowly pushing them off. Meanwhile, Sakura groaned as she felt something heavy on her. I can't breathe. Choji, she said, as Choji slowly picked up himself. Sorry about that, he said, as Shikamaru slowly groaned as he rubbed his forehead. What the hell was that? Kiba was currently over Hinata's body to make sure that her body wasn't thrown away by the violent outburst. As he looked up, it's Naruto, he said. Something then landed right beside them. As the group looked up, it was Hinata's father, the head of the Hyuga compound, as three more other Hyugas landed around him. Kurenai then landed as well, as her heart stopped. She looked at the dead body of Hinata that was just lying there. Hayashi, they were never one that was to cry, but he felt something shaking up in his heart. Just looked at his daughter's body. What happened? Said Kurenai, looking at Hinata. She saw that girl as a daughter, and to see her in this state now. As Kiba clenched his fist, I got here, and as tears came out of his eyes, and found her like this. The entire fighting in Konoha had stopped, seeing that they were just recovering from that whatever just happened. As Kurenai dropped to her knees, cradling Hinata's dead body, Hayashi then spoke. What was the cause of that explosion? It was Naruto, said Sakura. He saw Hinata and he lost it, Hayashi finished. He understood. He knew that that boy was close to his daughter. He was the one that got her out of that shy state. Thinking about it, he quickly steeled himself. For one not to cry, tears were building in his eyes, but he calmed himself. Hinata was doing so well. It was him, Kiba said as he pointed over at Kenji. The man picked up himself. As blood was coming from his left arm, it had gotten severely damaged, while everything was thrown back. So you went on telling me, huh, kid, he said, as Hayashi had rage burning in his eyes, and so did Kurenai. But then Hayashi noticed something was in front of them. What is that, said Shikamaru. It was a white, bright light. It was just stuck in one place and not moving. It was just there. His Byakugan was activated, but the moment he looked at the source of the light, he dropped to his knees, holding his eyes in pain. As Sakura rushed over, You alright? She asked. As Hayashi squinted his eyes. He didn't know what the hell that was. He quickly deactivated his Byakugan. As he looked back over, something was in that source of light. Something so potent that affected his eyes. I think we should get out of here, said Kenji. That guy over there, he's a Hayuka. And an adult one at that. And that girl, she looked to be a Jonin. This fight is getting a lot more risky. As he looked at the three men that was behind him, three of them only survived. The bright light started dim. When the light dimmed, they realized it was something shaped like a cocoon. What is that? Said Choji. It started to break before the entire thing shattered, forcing everyone to look away. As something then emerged from it, his body just glistening with this strange aura around him. It was completely white. This was not Naruto anymore. Well, it was, but he has gone through drastic change, looking different completely. The first thing they noticed was long white hair. It went straight down into his back and stopped right at his waist. His clothing remained the same, but his body seemed to have grown a bit, just slightly. His eyes, his once blue eyes, had changed into a silver color, looking like they were shining the entire time, just by the sun glistening when he looked forward. The center of his shirt had ripped, and you could see there was a strange marking on his chest. There was a strange circle in his chest. One large circle with a smaller one inside, and a smaller one inside of that, so in all, there was 3 circles. The first one was red, the other one was blue, and the last one, it was silver. The 3 of them was lightly humming and buzzing with power. Naruto stood there as he raised up his hands. He hadn't spoken a single word. Back in the village, seeing that this wasn't going to happen again, ninjas all started to fight, as clashes could be heard. Kenji smirked as he pulled out a kunai. I don't know what the hell just happened, but as he thrust the kunai straight towards Naruto, Kurenai got to her feet. Naruto, move, she said, as the kunai came straight forward. But before it could touch him, it simply melted away, like it was never there. Kenji's eyes narrowed. What the hell? Naruto then walked off. As he raised his hands, he then motioned to come. Kenji didn't know what it was, but his body was ripped from the ground violently before he was pulled. Naruto extended his hand as Kenji's face smashed right in the center of it, snapping his nose. Blood started to leak instantly as Kenji moved on his hand to smash into Naruto's face. Naruto tapped his fist as Kenji's entire body froze. He couldn't understand what the... A strange white aura came around Kenji as both of his hands were planted flat at his side. As Naruto turned his back towards Kenji, he was just looking and standing there. The others were watching as well. Hey dumbasses, Kenji said, looking towards the 3 friends. Are you just gonna stand there? Kill this bastard! I don't know what he's doing, but hurry up and kill him before he can finish what he's doing, because if you don't, all of us are going to die. That gave them 3 motivation as they pulled the kunai as well. And shurikens, they started to toss them all at Naruto. But yet again Naruto didn't move, and all of the kunais and shurikens turned into dust before they could simply reach them. One of them pulled their blade as he rushed towards Naruto with tremendous speed as he leaped in the air and came down a slash. The blade slashed right into Naruto. But the man was confused. His blade, he touched him, right? As Kurenai was confused as well. What the hell is going on, she said. Another one came behind Naruto as he swung a kick towards Naruto's head, but nothing. The third one then came as he pulled a kunai and jammed it right in Naruto's heart, but nothing. He didn't feel his kunai penetrate anything, but his hand had passed through the kid like he was there. What the hell? The man moved back. Are you the one that killed that girl? Naruto finally spoke. His voice sounded a lot different from before. It sounded hollow. As Kenji straightened up. Yes, I did, he said. Why did you kill her? Naruto asked. Because I wanted, said Kenji. And because I thought it would be fun. So you're just a cold-blooded murderer, said Naruto. Yes, Kenji said. The other three were confused. Why was Kenji just agreeing and saying everything that this boy told him to do? The three of them tried to move. Stop, said Naruto. Instantly, their body froze. As the same white glow came over them, as their hands were slapped at their sides. They could not understand. They struggled, but they couldn't even move an inch. It seems like he was really pissed when you killed her. Huh, said Naruto as he looked down at his hands. I can't even tell if I'm him anymore. Or what exactly am I? But I guess she was my friend. So I should make you all pay for what you did. But you especially. Naruto reached forward as Kenji started to sweat. Petrified, said Naruto as he touched Kenji on the chest. Suddenly his entire body turned into stone. Naruto then reached out, but he just touched ear. Just reaching out to nothing in particular, before his hand then ripped through space and time itself, like he was simply opening a door. As he ripped open a large chunk of it, Hayashi and the others had to move away because the intense heat came from it, feeling like it was going to boil them alive. As Naruto looked inside, I don't even know where that leads to, but it seems like a fitting place to punish you. No, said Kenji. I'm sorry for killing that girl, okay? You don't have to do this, he said, as he started to beg for his life. He didn't want to go in there, and especially, he can't move. Naruto raised his hand as Kenji's body was lifted off the ground, as he threw Kenji inside without saying anything else. At that last moment, Kenji's head turned to stone as well, as the rift was closed behind him. As Naruto then stepped forward, looked at the other three who were shaking. Meanwhile, Kenji found himself in boiling hot lava. He didn't know what this place was, but he could only scream on top of his lungs, but no sound was coming out. His body was being melted, but it wasn't really being melted because his skin was frozen into stone and stone just wouldn't break. But he was feeling the intense burn. His entire body got sunk under the lava, and he just kept on burning in pure lava, and he couldn't die. The suffering was unimaginable. He just kept on burning over and over and over again. The pain, his systems being ripped apart. But still, his body did not crack. He was feeling the pain, but nothing was happening to him. He could only scream in his mind. It was driving him mad, and he has only been there for a couple of seconds now. Back outside, Naruto stepped forward towards the other three quivering ninjas. As Naruto waved his hand, all of their mouths were sealed off. A strange white aura stuck in their mouths tight. He stepped forward to simply tap their chests. The three man's mouth then snapped open as they started to cough, like they were choking on something before a white ball of energy came out of their mouth, as their bodies slumped over. The others were just standing there watching, before Naruto reached up and all the three balls of energy went into one. He reached out and grabbed it as it simply vanished. Naruto? Said Kurenai. She hadn't really had much interaction with this boy, but still, she talked to him once or twice. He was so nice to Hinata. He was always there for her, always cheering her up when she was sad, always there for her when her father showed that her be rough with her. He was the one that turned her into what she is, as Kurenai lowered her head. But all of that has gone to, as Hinata, body was just still lying there. As she could understand now why Naruto had snapped, but what exactly happened to him, and where did he get this power from? Naruto turned as he walked up to Kurenai. You were like a mother to her, he said, his voice still calm. Sakura and the others were just watching as he couldn't make out what it was. And you? Naruto looked at Hayashi. You used to hurt her. Hayashi didn't know why, but he took a step back. Was it fear of seeing what this boy just did, but his body seemed to just be moving on its own? But she still respects you as her father. And after a while you come to see how precious she was. So you change your ways. But now, even though you act all tough and mighty, I can see you're hurt on the inside. Naruto turned his back to them. She didn't deserve to die like this. Don't worry, it won't last for long. As Naruto turned his head, she doesn't want to be taken yet. Her life was cut short. I'll take care of the trash first, said Naruto. What do you mean? What are you gonna do? Asked Kunai. As Naruto turned towards her, give me a minute, he said. And with that he disappeared before any of them could say anything. Meanwhile, on top of the academy tower, Orochimaru was currently inside the barrier that was surrounded by envoys. He was about to give the order to retreat. Things have went from bad to worse, as he can see that his ninjas are losing. Suddenly, Naruto appeared, just blinking into existence. It was strange, it didn't look like speed or teleportation. It was just strange. Orochimaru saw him. That's enough! Naruto screamed, his voice echoing all over the village, making everyone freeze for just a split second. As all of them were confused. Sand ninjas, he said, his voice echoing all around. You were all tricked by Orochimaru to attack the hidden leaf. Yeah, Jinchuriki is already on his way back home, along with his siblings after they found out what happened. I suggest you leave. The only reason I'm allowing you to survive is because you were all tricked. Now leave, said Naruto. The sand ninjas looked at him. As they could all hear his voice, he was projecting all over the village. As they still stand there, Naruto raised his hand up to the sky as a thunder started to arrive. Clouds, dark, thick black clouds. Before he snapped his finger, several sound ninjas cry out in pain and agony as a bolt of lightning shot from the sky, incinerating a hole right through their chest at pinpoint accuracy. They felt the intense pain as their body was boiled from the inside, killing them. The sand ninjas all looked at each other. They were tricked. And this boy, whatever he is, he just wiped out 7 ninjas like it was nothing. As Baki, realizing if Gaara and Temari and Conqueror were gone, they had no other reason to stay here. Move, he said, as he gave them all the order to retreat. Son and Sand Ninja started to flee, but Naruto placed his hand down on the roof. A massive white dome surrounded the entire village of Konoha, and a smaller one surrounded the stadium. The Sand Ninjas got through it. As one of the Sound Ninjas touched the barrier, the man cried out in pain as his body was burned beyond recollection. As another foolishly touched the barrier as well, before a bolt of lightning shot through all of his vital organs, killing him instantly. Don't touch it, one of the other Sound Ninjas screamed. It's just killing us! As the Sand Ninjas kept on retreating through it, Orochimaru had his eyes on Naruto. He was sweating. He was in a bad state, his arms were gone. As Naruto walked around the purple barrier that was erupted, he was just looking inside, his eyes focused on Orochimaru. This was the first time in his life he has felt fear like this. Fear, like he was actually going to be incinerated. He didn't know what this boy was, but he could tell this boy was far above him. Naruto's eyes then looked down. I see. So, it was you that won the battle to kill the old man, said Naruto. As Orochimaru looked down at Hiruzen's body, not saying anything, a bright, whiter light came around Naruto as he simply walked through the purple barrier. He made his way inside as Orochimaru backed up, but Naruto paid him no mind as he picked up Hiruzen's body, placed their hands on Hiruzen's chest as he noticed a seal on him. So you risk your life. So, as Naruto looked at Orochimaru, seems like you weren't strong enough to take away his life, but you did take away his arms. He picked up Hiruzen as he simply walked back out of the barrier with Hiruzen's body completely covered in a white light as well. Jiraiya landed on the roof as he saw Naruto holding Hiruzen. He then took in Naruto changes as he knew that Naruto was behind what happened. He was the only one that had strange power like this. Kid, are you okay? he asked. Not sure if Naruto was in control. You should take his body, said Naruto. He made a sacrifice to make sure that he died. But it seems like he wasn't strong enough to go through with it. But he took his arms. As Jiraiya noticed that Orochimaru was still trapped in the barrier, he wasn't letting his flunkies release the barrier. As Jiraiya narrowed his eyes, the barrier was still surrounded by the envoys. He didn't know exactly what Naruto had did and what he ascended into, but he seemed to have Orochimaru scared. Naruto then leaped off the tower as he landed right in the center of the arena. All of you, he said as he raised his hand, come to me. Suddenly, a white glow came around all of the sound ninjas. Their bodies were pulled violently. Some of their heads smashed against the wall, but still their bodies tear right through it, even though they got immense damage. Their bodies were ripped from trees, ripped into trees, but they were still pulled right through it. They were being pulled by a tremendous force that they couldn't stop no matter what. Some of them screamed out in pain. The Konoha ninjas could only watch, as they didn't see any purpose for them in this anymore. But what exactly was doing this? Many of them made their way towards the arena, where they saw none other. Wait, who is that? Most of them were confused. Most of them who didn't have a connection with Naruto to know him so well, to have him change and see that he was Naruto. But most of them knew that it was him. Meanwhile, Sasuke landed beside Sakura. What the hell is going on with the dope, he asked. As Sakura looked over, oh Sasuke-kun, she said, you're here. As Sasuke looked back in the arena, what happened? Hinata died, said Sakura. And Naruto just lost it completely. And then it came out like this. I don't really know, she said. Kakashi then landed. Kakashi, what is this? To tell the truth, Sasuke, I have no idea, said Kakashi. He always knew that Naruto had this strange power inside of him. But what exactly was it? And what exactly can he do? As every ninjas made their way to arrive to see all of the sound ninjas in the center, most of their body was already broken beyond recollection. Naruto tapped his hand on the ground. You people came here with the intent to kill all of us, trapping us and surrounding us. Well, let's see how you deal with the same thing, said Naruto. The ground then shook violently before a hand ripped out of it. A large black demonic hand with large black claws. The creature then pulled itself from the ground. It was like a dog. But the thing was large as Gamabunta, towering over all the ninjas. The thing had 4 massive heads. Each of them had a long row of spiky teeth with red, gleaming eyes. The massive beast released a howl that shook a large part of Konoha. As Naruto jumped straight out of the arena, the thing then went on a rampage and started to rip every single sound ninja inside apart. Long tentacles started to escape from its back. The moment it wrapped around one of the sound ninjas, they were disintegrated into dust. The thing had an electric shock with it. Meanwhile, Orochimaru was scared out of his mind. So was the Sound 4, as they couldn't understand. They had nowhere to go now. Jiraiya was right outside, standing there waiting for the barrier to drop. The envoys were there as well. They were distracted, but that was not the case. Konoha was surrounded, the entire arena was surrounded by this strange white barrier. And not to mention the other barrier around Konoha. And he saw his sound ninjas trying to pass through it and they got disintegrated. He felt that was something for him. What the hell was this boy? Lord Orochimaru, said Teiwaya. Well, what should we do, she said. For once in her state, she was not cursing. She was scared. Yeah, what should we do, said Jirobo. This was getting bad from worse. You all be quiet, said Kimaru. Let the man think. He will get us all out of here alive. As Seikon narrowed his eyes. As he didn't think so, Orochimaru was sweating. Orochimaru was in a bad state, his hands were not working. And they would have to be the one to get him out of here. But they couldn't do that at the moment. How exactly would they leave? Humanity is so fun to play with, said Naruto as he looked down. I wonder why did I say that, he asked himself. As he watched his massive beast rip, limb from limb, tearing. Sound ninjas. To sound ninjas, the thing seemed like an unquenchable beast, just ripping anyone to get near to. Screams, pain, and panic could be heard as the Konoha ninja watched a brutal scene. Jiraiya looked over at Naruto with a shocked look on his face, who was smiling. That is why Jiraiya was shocked, even though they had invaded the village and tried to overrun it, to kill them in such a brutal way. Some of them were even being beat down on by the dog, while the two heads play with their body, tearing to shreds. It was just so brutal. Enjoying the shows to the voice, Orochimaru jumped to the other side of the barrier that he was in. He couldn't understand. He looked over back to where Naruto was, but he was in here now. Release the barrier, he said in a desperate attempt to get away. As the Sound Fort did so, as Drobo smashed his fist in the top of the roof, destroying it as the Sound Fort quickly jumped down. Lord Orochimaru said Seikan. Orochimaru then jumped, ready to jump down the hole as well, until Naruto appeared in front of him mid-air. Naruto's hand was reared up, the back of his hand. Orochimaru was going to move his hand to block him, but he realized, damn it, he cursed, as he braced himself. But he wasn't expecting what was going to happen. Naruto smacked him in the face. Time seemed to froze for a second there, as a booming effect went off. Orochimaru's face, the side of it that Naruto smacked, completely exploded. With such a force, teeth fly out of his mouth. His cheek was shredded by just the force of Naruto's slap, but his body was the thing that took a brutal hit. It was sent sailing with so much force. Orochimaru's entire body was covered by a white glow from Naruto's slap, making Orochimaru safe to pass through the barrier. Orochimaru's body started to fly from miles to miles away. Doesn't seem like it was slowing down anytime soon. Orochimaru was in a haze. Blood was just pouring from his mouth as he flew to the sky. Half his face was completely tear off, as you could see the entire bone underneath. But his body was sent flying for miles upon miles. Orochimaru found himself crashing in a large steel platform. His one eye being his only view, his body was broken. He didn't know where he was, or how far did he went. All he knew was that he was going to die soon if he didn't do something quickly. As Orochimaru started to blink when he felt something drop on him. It was rainwater. Rainwater? Where the hell was he thought, in his hazy state. Suddenly, a figure landed from above. Landing right in front of him, the figure, looking at him with a rather curious look, even though these eyes usually look dead. It was none other than Tendo Pain. Orochimaru was shocked seeing this man that recruited him in the Akatsuki, that sent him sailing in one push. But how did he fly from Konoha straight to here with just one hit? He couldn't feel his body anymore. It was completely destroyed, sinking the iron. Pain was confused, as Konan was currently descending down from the sky with her wings behind her. She was also confused. How did Orochimaru get here? They've been hunting him for so long now, and they knew that he would do everything to try and stay off their radar. So how exactly did he get here? And why would he get here? And it seems like he's been in a fight. This is surprising, said Tendo Pain. As he then looked around, he heard the sky crying even more than usual. Back at Konoha, Jiraiya watched as Naruto simply vanished out of existence, like he was never there. Kakashi landed beside him. What's going on? He said. I have no idea, said Jiraiya. That was all they could say. They're all dead, said Kakashi, as he looked down at the bloodbath that just happened to the monster ripping all of the humans inside to pieces. Yeah, but that thing still looked like it's hungry. The large dog then leaped out of the stadium before it landed crashing down. The thing then started to sniff around, sniffing. Jiraiya and Kakashi went on their guard before one of the heads looked at them. We are not here to hurt you, the thing suddenly spoke. Kakashi and Jiraiya were surprised. You can talk? Yes, we can, the other head said. Our master sent us to kill those ones over there. Another head spoke. Not you. There is still a few of them around hiding. I will find them and eat them. I'm sorry for getting in your way, said Jiraiya, but can you not do that? Why is that? The creature said. Well, you're awfully big. And you're destroying the village by just walking. Oh, is that so? As one of the head looked down. You're lucky my master gave me orders not to hurt any one of you, because I would kill you for that comment. The thing then raised its giant paw before smashing it into the ground, before vanishing. Jiraiya held his chest. I can't believe that worked. But you're right though, said Kakashi. He's too big to walk in here. Just look. The entire stadium had been destroyed by just him trampling around. And many smaller shacks had been destroyed that was near to the stadium. Even the booth that the Genins were in. What are we gonna do about Naruto, said Kakashi. Jiraiya stood there with a blank look on his face. He had no idea. As he then looked over as the Anvils were protecting Hiruzen's body. As he sighed. But still, where did Naruto go? And where did he send Orochimaru? Meanwhile, Nagato was currently looking through the eyes of his Tendo Pain, looking at Orochimaru in his broken state who wasn't even moving. Konan was just floating there. As Tendo Pain then raised his hand. Well, let me finish the job, he said. No, his mind's the voice. The voice tone is so calm. Tendo Pain then turned his head as he looked behind him to see. He narrowed his eyes. He had seen a photograph of the 9-tailed Jinchuriki. But this boy looked exactly like him. But how the hell did he get in the village? And he didn't sense him. The only time he sensed him was when he spoke. Just how the hell did he do that? Who are you? Said Konan as she looked down at Naruto. I have no obligation to answer your question, said Naruto. Now, you, come. He waved his fingers. Orochimaru was rooted out of the iron and pulled towards him. As Naruto caught him by his face and pulled his hand back and threw Orochimaru straight out of the village. His body was sent sailing like a rocket. Nagato then raised his hand. He had seen the picture of the 9-tails before, the Jinchuriki. And yes, this boy was him. He looked a bit different, but he was him. Universal pull, he said. Naruto felt something pulling away at his shirt, before he simply tapped his shirt, trying to brush whatever it off was, as Nagato felt his jutsu stop. He was confused. Naruto didn't even spare him a second glance before he shot off the ground, following after Orochimaru. What just happened? Said Konan. As Tendo looked onto his hand, confused as hell. That always worked. Just what in the hell just happened? Naruto arrived at the spot that he had thrown Orochimaru to see. Orochimaru lying face down on the ground. As he made his way over, the snake wasn't moving. Oh, it seems I lost him, said Naruto. As he raised his hand, the earth shifting, turning Orochimaru's body right side up. But Orochimaru's body was just a husk left behind. As Naruto looked over to the body of water, towards his left. Trying to get away by using the water, are you? Said Naruto. He stepped forward as he stepped on towards a large, deep body of water. Meanwhile, underneath the sea, Orochimaru was in his snake form. Hundreds or maybe thousands of white snakes made up his body. This was the only way that he could escape. As, after years and years of so many experiments, he has turned himself into this. He was traveling as fast as possible, even though he felt like his body would shut down any time now. It will take a long while for him to get back to normal, and quickly swim as fast as possible. He couldn't stay behind. If he did, he would definitely be killed by that boy. Naruto raised his hand above the lake, before a massive magic circle opened up at the top of the lake. A giant ball, resembling the red sun, emerged. It wasn't as large as the sun, but it was large. As he then waved his finger as the ball went into the lake, the moment he touched the water started to evaporate, turning into steam. Orochimaru looked up with shock. He made a quick dive. He teared through the earth as he started to dive underneath, moving as fast as possible. Realized that he would be able to outrun this. He quickly spread his white snakes all around so he could at least regenerate out of one of them. Although it will take a long time, he still would survive, as a large portion of the entire seawater started to evaporate until the mini sun made its way inside and everything just went into steam. The mini sun then exploded outwards, enveloping everything. Well, I guess that's done for, said Naruto, as he blinked out of existence. Deep, deep, deep underground, a small white snake that was sliced in half found itself in the lodgings of the earth, far, far enough so that he could outlast Naruto Blast. But half of its long tail was sliced off, leaving it only a small speck. The thing then twitched. Meanwhile, at Konoha, Naruto blinked back into existence. Naruto, said Kakashi. Naruto looked around. Where's my new friend? He says he couldn't see the creature that he had conjured up. Well, it killed the sound ninjas and went away, said Jiraiya. He didn't want to do anything to piss off Naruto right now by telling Naruto that he was the one that had told it that he didn't need to stay anymore. He didn't know why, but he just feel like Naruto was going to snap. Well, it seems like it did work, said Naruto. Huh, a bloody mess. Jiraiya didn't know why, but the kid, demeanor, his attitude, everything just changed. It seems like he didn't care about humanity or human life anymore. That was the vibes that Jiraiya was getting off of him. Are you okay now? Asked Jiraiya. Okay. Why wouldn't I be? Said Naruto. What happened to you? Jiraiya said. Huh. I don't even know, Naruto said. Sorry, I have to cut this conversation short. There is someone I need to talk to. Naruto raised his hand up before he placed them together. The world then started to cackle with a black lightning in front of him. The black lightning started to rip something. It seems like space and time was ripping once again. A large gateway then opened up as some skeleton hands then emerged on the edge of the gateway. As hollow sounds could be heard, deaths and screams. Naruto simply stepped inside. Naruto, wait! Said Kakashi. But Naruto went away. Kakashi then stopped right in front of the door. If you step in here, you forfeit your soul, said a deep, dark voice that came from inside. As Kakashi didn't make one more move. The entire village was just stunned. Those that witnessed the battle know what is going on, all of them. Meanwhile, Naruto was walking through pure darkness. He snapped his finger as an energy ball of light just simply appeared, illuminating the light way. As he simply walked, he made his way. The place was dark and looked rather disgusting. Skeleton bodies were all around. Hands were shooting from the ground. The place looking like death itself. But Naruto paid him no mind. Any one of them that tried to touch him, any of the skeletons, they were simply evaporated into nothingness. As he made his way to a large chamber, where he saw a giant throne. Someone was sitting on the throne. A person. More like a spectral being. Huh, it actually worked. The being snapped his eyes open, revealing strange, small beady, yellow eyes, and everything else was black. It had sharp, pointed teeth with two horns jutting from its head. It was dressed in a long white kimono. It had a purple skin. Its hands were claws. Impossible, the being said. You're the god of death. Is that right? Said Naruto. The being looked at Naruto like he was crazy. How? How did you get here? The Shinigami asked. Huh. I thought that I wanted to, and I guess I did. The Shinigami took a look at Naruto. I don't know what you are, but for you to step foot in here, you will not leave. I'm here for a soul, said Naruto, to bring someone alive. Huh. Seems like you're crazy, whatever you are. The Shinigami then came to a stop as he saw a white glow around Naruto. He quickly got off his throne. How? I thought you were wiped out, he said. How is this possible? You're a celestial? He asked. A celestial? Said Naruto. The Shinigami then dropped down to his knees. I didn't know, he said, sounding really scared. I don't know what you're talking about. But as I said, I'm here for a soul. A girl named Hinata Hyuga. I can't, the Shinigami said. What? Said Naruto. I can't just give away a soul. She's already passed on. And I said, I'm here for her, said Naruto. As the entire realm of death quake. The Shinigami cowered in fright. Despite being a dead god himself, he was scared of Naruto. Naruto sighed. Alright, fine. I'll give you something in return. Here is 3 souls. Why don't you give me just 1? And I'll give you these... No, not 1. Oh yeah, I also want Hiruzen, Sir Toby. As much as I wish to give you them, I can't, Shinigami said, stuttering. Well, I can give you the girl's soul for the 3 souls, but Hiruzen, Sir Toby, that man used a death seal to sacrifice his own life. I can't return it. You would be changing the laws of physics itself for me to return that soul so willingly back to the land of living. But I will make an exception this time to give you back Hinata Hyuga if you give me those 3 souls. Well, I guess the old man wanted to use his life to kill Orochimaru. But still. But if I kill you, I can just take what I want. As Shinigami then stepped away. But I don't know about what exactly you are. I hope to remake you. Yet, so I guess I'll just leave him. But wait, can I speak to him before I leave? Yes, Shinigami says. He waved his hand. Hiruzen didn't appear as he blinked. He was dressed in a loose gray kimono. He was just looking calm. Old man, said Naruto. Hiruzen blinked several times. No. Naruto, my boy, he said. How did you die? He asked. Oh, I'm not dead, said Naruto. But how are you here? Oh, I'm here for Hinata's soul. What? Hinata died? Hiruzen didn't understand, as he still had all of his memories of what happened. What did you do? To tell you the truth, I don't really know. But it seems like I've become something. Something to even scare that over there, as he pointed at Shinigami. But I'm sorry. It seems like because of what you did, I can't bring you back. Bring me back? Yes, I was trying to get your soul back as well. It's alright, Naruto, my boy, he said. I did what I did to sacrifice myself for the village. Don't worry about that. I killed Orochimaru. You did? Yes, so you don't have to worry, said Naruto. As Hiruzen stepped forward, I don't know what you've become, or how much powerful you are right now. But, can you grant me one last wish before you go? What is that, Naruto asked. Can you protect Konoha? I know that you're going to be a lot of hate. A lot of people still fearing your power or what you exactly are. But you were never a bad person. So can I ask you to watch over Konoha and keep it safe? Can you do that for me, please, he asked. Because I wasn't able to bring you back, I'll grant you that wish. Yes, I'll watch over Konoha for you. Now you, give me what I want, said Naruto, as he tossed over the other 3 souls, as they flew towards Shinigami, who simply swallowed them. He waved his hand once again, as Hinata blinked several times. Naruto-kun, she said. As she realized, how did you die, she said. No, I'm not dead, he said. Come with me. Where are you going, she asked. You're returning, said Naruto, as he looked back at Hiruzen. Bye, old man, he said, as Hiruzen nodded, as he just stood there, not understanding how Naruto was able to breach into this world. He looked up at the Shinigami. What exactly is he, the Shinigami asked. Something that you cannot comprehend. And on some level, not even I myself. A celestial is bad enough. But a celestial mixed with that world, mages, Shinigami said. And not to mention, that thing. All 3 of them combined, creating that thing over there. As he watched Naruto leave with Hinata, just hold on to her arm. If something happens, and that child turned dark somehow, I don't think the cosmos could handle it. As Shinigami just stood there, I have to inform the others What are you talking about, Harrison? The Shinigami waved his hand as Harrison disappeared. Damn it. How was this possible? And why didn't I know until now? Meanwhile, at the fire country, as the girl was shooting through the sky as fast as possible, she quickly made her way towards the village. He's here, she said. She then closed her eyes as she spread a light aura around the place. There, she then took off at tremendous speed, making her way towards the arena. Back towards the arena, Naruto stepped out of this hellscape to wherever he just went, as he had a strange blue orb in his hand. The place then closed behind him before he just simply blinked away. Meanwhile, two Hyugas, as Hayashi was standing there, the village was still on edge because they didn't know what was exactly going on. Suddenly, Naruto arrived. Naruto said, "Sakura." As Shikamaru and the others looked at him. "Hey, I told you that it wouldn't last for long," said Naruto. As he looked at Kunai. What did you do?" she asked. Naruto raised his hand. As he fired off the blue orb, it simply went through the two Hyugas and struck Hinata's body. "Put her down," Naruto said. They did as they were told as they gently set her down, not knowing what was going on, before her entire body was illuminated with a bright blue light, before everything was poured inside of her. As Naruto then extended his fingers, the white aura came around her. Her wound healed in seconds, as her skin returned back to normal, returned from that pale look when she was dead. Hinata blinked several times before fully taking in the light around her. Just a second ago, Naruto told her to come with him, but before that she was stabbed, and she met her mom. Hinata stood there with a confused look on her face, as she turned towards Naruto. "Naruto-kun," she said, confused, as Hayashi felt like he was going to have a heart attack. Wasn't she just dead? Kurina and the others were looking at her like something crazy was going on, as Jiraiya landed as well. Suddenly, Naruto turned his head towards the sky. The ground underneath him, a magical seal appeared. He felt something slow his movements, but he simply cracked for him to move. "Damn it, he's strong," the girl said in mid-ear. She raised her arm. A circle appeared in the center of her palm. A smaller circle in that and a smaller one in that, just like the one in Naruto's chest. She descended towards the ground. Naruto felt his movements being sluggish again. As he looked down the magical seal that was holding him, it had the same 3 circles that was on his chest. The girl then shot forward, passing Jiraiya and passing everyone else, as she was coming straight at him. "What the hell?" Naruto said, as he tried to raise his arm, but it was moving rather slow, this strange circle thing on the ground. "One shot," she said. She pulled back her hand and then smashed it right into his chest. Suddenly, a bright light illuminated the area. Chains shot forward from the ground straight out of the seal as they wrapped around Naruto. The magical circle then started to glow before the chains and bind Naruto and forge into his skin. As Naruto screamed out in pain, the girl had a sad look on her face, but she knew she had to do this. This should calm him down. She then dropped to one knee. "Damn it, you're still exhausted from coming here. Don't push yourself," said a voice. "Yeah, I know," she said. As Naruto cried out in pain, Naruto-kun, Hinata shouted as she got to her feet, but the moment she got up, she fell. Her body still felt strange, like it was getting used to her walking. It was weird. The girl raised her hand. "He's gonna be fine. Allow this to run its course." "Who the hell are you?" Jiraiya asked. The girl turned towards him. "That doesn't matter right now if that doesn't hold him." "Wait, what is it doing?" asked Jiraiya. He knew this girl was something to Naruto. They looked so much alike. It was strange, except for her green eyes. As Jiraiya remembered Naruto once, blue eyes, and the clothing that she was wearing, and not to mention these strange markings on her arms. It was something that Naruto did. This strange magical thing. Was she... how do you know him? As the girl turned towards Jiraiya. "I know him because I am his..." But guys, to be in episode right here. If you want the next part of this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends and social media platform. Bye, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.